All right, everybody, thank you and welcome to the podcast. Please welcome the new National Openweight Champion, Alex Kane, the Suplex Assassin Alex Kane, excuse me. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm excited for this interview. We're going to have lots and lots of fun, and let's get to it.
Yeah, man, I'm really happy that you're here today. I've been a fan for quite some time now. First, I want to get a little bit of history. What drew you to wrestling? I know that you had a high school and collegiate career. I want to know, did that have any effect on your professional wrestling? Were you interested in professional wrestling as a kid?
I was into it. I was in professional wrestling before that. I thought that wrestling was high school wrestling, and it was gonna be like WWE. So like I walked into the room the first day, and I'm like, where are the chairs? Where's the ropes? What are we doing? And then the coach is like, oh, we don't do that fake stuff around here. And I was like, hurt my feelings. But like then I saw like kind of what like amateur wrestling did to my brother, like my brother's body, like how like it like made him like get muscle up, and I was like, doing this is gonna help me, and it definitely has helped me in this journey of professional wrestling. But like I was mainly into everything else before, like everything else I had to do with professional wrestling before the wrestling. So it was like the pyrotechnics, it was the sets and stuff. It was like trying to like figure out what they did on their days off and shit and stuff like that. And then like as I got older, that's when I got into like the actual wrestling of it.
Right. Wow. You ended up training with AR Fox. How did that come about?
I was in my last college class before I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a break from this. And I was looking at wrestling schools in Georgia, and I saw the WWA4 website, and I saw Austin Theory on there. And I didn't know who Austin Theory was before then, but like he looked like he was like ready to be on TV. And I'm like, well, if they produce some people that look like they're already ready to be on TV, this is probably somewhere I need to go. Because it was between his school and Robert Gibson's school, but I went and checked out the A4 like in person. And like Fox was like it was weird. It was weird, but it was also kind of cool. Like the moment I saw Fox, like I knew he was a star. Like sometimes you can feel that with people,
right?
Like in their presence. But he was like super humble and like really, really chill. And I just really liked the vibe of the school. So I was like, this is probably where I'm gonna end up going. And I think I signed up the next week.
You ended up training somewhat with King Mo as well, and you're working with him now in MLW, right?
Yeah, I've trained with King Mo a little bit, just on like ground game stuff. He's extremely knowledgeable when it comes to that. Like anytime I see him, he's always trying to show me something new, which is really cool. But yeah, I've done a little bit with him.
That's cool. What were some of your early experiences in professional wrestling, like working through the indies?
Oh man, I've had some decent ones. I worked at this show in Piedmont, Alabama called Pro South Wrestling, and I believe I was in like a title match or something. And the guy that books the Scenic City Invitational in most of the time like Tennessee, Georgia area. Scott Hensley, I thought he was like watching the stream, but he was actually in the building. And he messaged me after that, and he was like, yo, like, do you want to do the feature showcase? Which the feature showcase is what really like put me on the map or whatever, to where everybody like kind of knew who I was. And that's kind of started this ascension to the top, if you would say. But yeah, so I can kind of say that he discovered me.
Okay.
And then like from then on, I've just been trying to kill it every time I go out there.
Absolutely. I think it was November 2020. I might be off by the year. I hope not. You debuted in Anarchy at the Landmark Arena, the legendary Landmark Arena, against David Ali. Were you familiar with the arena beforehand?
I knew what it was, but I had never been there before.
Really?
I think that was the first time I'd ever been there. But like
Did
I
you ever
knew
watch?
about it.
Did you ever
Huh?
watch Did you ever watch like Wild Side or Anarchy prior to that?
No, I hadn't. I think Wild Side is on IWTV. I keep meaning to
Yeah,
watch it.
they bought the
I
rights
keep,
to the IWTV bought the rights to it like a year ago, and they've
yeah,
been uploading constantly. So that was one of my favorite shows when it was around back, in the earlier 2000s.
yeah. The Booker for Action, Matt Griffin used to wrestle on Wild Side.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
What
feel
was
like I'm
your
watching this stuff.
you ended up wrestling Todd Sexton too, who was
Hmm.
basically he worked in that building quite a bit in
Hmm.
Wildside and Anarchy. Tell me what you felt about that match.
Uh, that
'Cause he's kind of a legend in that area.
Yeah,
So
he is. It was. I think it was a fun match. It was the. I think it was the most technical match I had up to that point.
right.
Um, More technical on his side because he had to be technical, but it was. I definitely had some fun, interesting moments. The only thing I didn't like about the match was the finish. It's not because I lost the match. It was so much as the way the finish was. I feel like it should have been something different. But
I thought it was a little bizarre the way that it ended.
yeah,
It was like
yeah,
really weird.
the fans, they were not with it. They were not with it at all. And it wasn't even like a boo he heel
Yeah.
kind of finish. It was just like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, it was a little confusing. So you ended up. I saw a couple matches that you worked with New South. They're also on IWTV. That's another like currently one of my favorite programs out there today because it's kind of if you watch it's a little bit more old school. It's like different than a lot of stuff that's on
Mhm.
IWTV. What do
Yeah.
you think of New South? Do you see yourself doing more work with them?
Oh, most definitely. I love New South. New South's one of those places where I was like, man, I have to get on here. Man, I have to get on here. Man, I have to get on here. And then I finally I think I pestered the booker, the owner, Brandon Williams. I was in the ear of Donnie Primetime, Cabana Man Dan, like all these people like, yo, like what do I have to do? Who do I have to suplex to get on this damn show? And then what was it? I guess Dump finally gave me a chance. Dump Sanders finally gave me a chance. And I think my debut was Baron Black. That was my debut match, Baron Black. And they were like, yeah, that's one hell of a draw to have to wrestle this guy. But I mean, I held my own, and that's definitely one of my favorite matches this year is wrestling him.
That's awesome. Tell me about the Suplex Assassin. Now it's saying that you have what 1,001 suplexes in your arsenal? 101. Excuse me,
101.
101. I was like, is
I
there
can't fathom
101?
1,000.
Oh, I was gonna
I
say,
can't.
is there
I can't
actually
fathom
101
1,000.
suplexes? Is there 100?
There definitely are
Is there really?
101. Yeah, there's definitely 101. I mean, for a lot of it is what I've learned in my time, like studying or whatever. A lot of like it's not so much of like the bumps are different. It's more of like the setups are different. There's like 100 different setups. There's a lot of ways to be able to manipulate the body. But yeah, the Suplex Assassin, it literally. Actually, no, let me go back. So we used to do these. Evolve used to come to like Atlanta, or they used to do tryouts all over, but they came to Atlanta like twice. And the first one I did, I did my match with Bobby Flacco, and after the match, Gabe would send us feedback, and like the feedback that he gave me. But like at the time, it was like, dude.
Yeah.
Charisma, you don't want this, all these things. So like the whole character thing stuck with me, and I was like, well, dang, I got to come up with a character. I can't just be the wrestler guy or whatever, in the singlet and shit. And like it took me so long to like try to like come up with something, and then I was playing the video game one day. Because I was like, you know what? Let me create myself. Let me see if this video game is gonna help me be able to like come up with a character. And I was like going through the names, and I really liked Alex Kane. I like how it sounded when it was announced. So I went with that because Alex is my middle name. So I went with that, and then I was trying to find something that had to do with suplex. I couldn't do like suplex machine because that's fucking Kurt Angle. I didn't want to do suplex master because that sounded weird, kind of lame, really. But like I was looking through the name list and it said assassin, and I was like, that's cool. I know there was an assassin back in the day. He wore a mask, I believe. He wore yellow, I think.
Jody Hamilton.
Yeah.
Nick Patrick's father. Yeah.
Yeah, the assassin. Yeah. But I was like, I like to throw suplexes. Like that's kind of what I'm trying to like go with. So I was like the suplex assassin. That sounds cool. That sounds really cool. And I bounced it off a few of my friends, and they're like, "Yo, that's dope. That's dope." So I went and looked it up online to make sure nobody else is a suplex assassin. Looked on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, made sure that it was not done before. And then I started at the A4. We do these Thursday night shows. These, I guess you can call them student showcases. Mm-hmm. But like I started being announced by that, and it just kind of stuck. And it's what I've been doing ever since. So yeah,
that's cool. All right, before we get into some MLW stuff, I found something online that I was unaware of. That you worked as an extra for some NXT tapings.
Yeah, did some extra work for NXT. I think it was a cool experience to like be there. Mm-hmm. But like I didn't like the culture of NXT. Right. Like it was like super like buttoned up, and like everybody like it felt like everybody was on edge, right? A little bit, and then like I don't expect the superstars there to like be like super buddy, but like you could at least acknowledge that we're there. Right. Or whatever, maybe talk to us. Like the only people like I did NXT, and then I also did, I believe it was SmackDown or Raw. It might have been SmackDown. But like the NXT people didn't really talk to us or whatever. The only person that like said anything to us like outright, only two people. Well, Randy didn't say anything, but he did like give us like a fist bump or whatever. But so he was cool. I think he said what's up. But Titus O'Neil was the one to like come in and like liven up everything. Right. And then Bobby Lashley was pretty cool. But everybody else was just, it kind of felt like it was like we're already here, we're better than you type shit. It wasn't it.
Yeah. That could be very disheartening. I mean, yeah. For some, that's like the biggest game in the business, you know what I mean? So mm-hmm. It seems like it's everybody's goals, and to get there and then it's kind of could be discouraging, I guess, It
was definitely discouraging, and I was one thing that I was worried about when I had like my first MLW taping. Was this going to be like WWE? Is going to be like all like everybody's on edge, like you can't like move or say anything or whatever. But yeah, I think that was my biggest fear.
So on May 27th, 2021, it was announced that you had signed with MLW. Yep. How did that signing come about, and how were you on the radar? How'd you get on their radar?
Man, it's actually funny. I asked Court about it I think a week or two ago about it, because like they had said that they had found me, they had discovered me or whatever, but they never told me what it was. So I think it was I did some matches for Paradigm Pro, their UWFI series. That's when I really like blew up because I hit my finisher, the Market Kane, on Levi Everett or whatever, and it is death, but it looked like death, like it looked like I murdered this man. Right. And a fan from Ireland, tagged Court Bauer and said, "Hey, you need to check this guy out. We need this guy at MLW." And when a lot of times you see this stuff online, you're like, okay, you tag this person. Is this person really going to go look and see? Probably not. But he said that he went and looked. He saw my stuff and he was like, "We got to get this guy. We have to get this guy," verbatim. And I was like, "That's pretty dope." So he's like, awesome. "Yeah, you can. I guess you can kind of thank the fan from Ireland or whatever for this signing."
That's
So
what
it's
it's
pretty
all
cool.
about, though.
Yeah.
In wrestling, it's like what the fans want to see. You know, I mean, what are the
Mhm.
chances that say the guy is going to go actually watch? That's the other thing. You know,
Yeah.
I want to back up one tiny bit because right
Okay.
around that time period, before that, you actually did have a match with Tom Lawlor in Paradigm Pro.
Yeah, it was. I think it was a few months before. It was a few months before. So like, yeah, I got there and they were telling me like what I was doing that day, and they're like, oh yeah, we're giving you Tom Lawlor, and I was like, holy shit, okay,
Right?
this is dope. And they were like, yeah, we want to challenge you, and I'm like, well, thank you for the challenge. Yeah, definitely. It was funny when we were putting the match together. Tom was like, I don't know pro wrestling. So like trying to like I guess like talk the jargon with him was a little difficult, but I
Okay.
mean it turned out great. But like I'm in the match with him and I'm like, this man over here saying he don't know pro wrestling, but he's so damn good at it.
Right.
What are we doing here? Did he just tell me? But yeah, like yeah, yeah. He had that match, and then me and Zenchi were actually talking about it. I think the next week,
Mhm.
like MLW would be perfect for me. Like it fits my style and everything. And then time goes on, and then I get the email like, "Hey, you want to come work at MLW?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah,
That's
hell yeah."
awesome. I've enjoyed the Paradigm's UWFI series. Were you ever familiar with UWFI out of Japan before?
Nope, I was not. I when I got there, um, it was a UWFI Grand Prix.
Yeah.
That was my first show. And like they were trying to explain the rules to me, and there's like this rule book, and it's like this thick or whatever. And I'm like, why are there so many rules? Jesus Christ. But I guess the thing that clicked for me is they said it would be it's gonna be the closest thing it'll be to is anything you did in like college or high
Right.
school or whatever, that style. So it's like, I mean, it's not done in periods, but I think I think the quickest, which they want it to be quick, is like 5 minutes,
Mhm.
2 to 5 minutes. Um, so
Keep freezing.
uh, uh, the rules when they're explaining it, you want to get to the action as quickly as possible. So you don't want to be wasting time with like trying to like chain wrestle a guy. Like if it's not in your wheelhouse, don't do it. Like
Right.
it's a fight.
Mhm.
So like get to the action quickly. Like nobody's gonna be mad if the match lasts 2 minutes. Like that's what they
Right.
came here for. They came here for the big ooh, and then
Right. I thought it was. I was a little excited when I found out they were doing a UWFI series. I was very familiar with
mhm,
the Japanese promotion of the same name from the 1990s.
mhm.
If you were into amateur wrestling, and you know, I don't know, man, it's like it's kind of like that in a ring with based on submissions and stuff. It was really fun to
Yeah.
watch, and there's tons of footage on YouTube. Some of these guys you probably even seen in like WWF as a kid or whatever. You know,
Hmm.
some of those guys. So, all right, so you ended up debuting at Battle Riot 3 against Bud Heavy. How did you feel about
Yeah.
that match? What was it like making your MLW debut in front of a crowd like that?
It was, you know, the day before and the day of, I was like super nervous. Like I think the night before I couldn't even sleep.
Hmm.
And then like the flight there, I'm like, yo, like it's bad. I was thinking about everything that could go wrong. That's what was going through my mind, everything that could go wrong. But like the people in the locker room, they kind of reassured me, dude, everything's gonna be fine. You're here for a reason. But like I was still nervous as hell. Um, and then like when my music hit and I stepped out on stage, like then I was like, okay, I'm good. I'm good. I'm at home. Like I felt like this is where I need to be. This is where I'm supposed to be. And then like to get over, like I mean, yeah, I'm a heel, but like to get over
Right.
in Philly, um, is unique because like Philly is one of those places that if you're not good, like if you're truly not good, not like, oh, we just hate you or whatever, but if you're
They'll
not
let you know.
good or you fuck something up, yeah, they're gonna let you know.
Yeah.
So to like get over in Philly was pretty dope. And then like now they hate me. Like now they hate me. Like I like walking on stage, I can hear the boos and shit. So it was definitely it was definitely a cool experience.
That's cool. And then also, what is it? Last week on Fusion Alpha, you took on Warhorse, who's kind of got quite the following, underground
Man, I
following.
knew Warhorse was over. I knew
Yeah.
he was over. Like I've seen like his stuff. Like Warhorse is hilarious.
Yeah.
And he's really good. But like when we got out there, they cut the promo out, which I don't know why they did it. But they cut the promo out. But that is what it is. But we cut this promo, whatever. We was like, yo, whoever's back there, like, come on out here, get this work, whatever. And then like his graphic pops up on the screen, and the place just goes nuts. And I'm like, well, I really got to do too much in this match. This is gonna be an easy night. He's already super over.
That's cool though. That guy's like all over the place too. So, on top of that, let's see here. Oh, let's big this one. You won the National Openweight Championship at War Chamber.
Yeah.
Tell me, bring me into this match. I know you've only had a few matches with the company, right? You've only been there a couple months now.
Yeah, I've only been there a couple months.
Yeah. And then you get this title in the five-way ladder match. Bring me into
my first ladder match, actually.
Your first ladder match. Oh,
it was my first ladder match.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So
to be in there with Alex Shelley.
Yeah, man.
Oh, it was. I think again, like the night before, couldn't sleep that much. I'm thinking about everything that could go wrong, and then like I'm just like, yo, like is this ladder gonna be like 12 feet? Like how high is the ring? Like how tall is the ladder? Like I'm scared, but I'm also excited for it. But like when I get there to the building and I see like how high the ring is and I see how low the ceiling is, I'm like, okay, this is not I'm not gonna die. Even if I do fall off this bitch, it's not gonna be terrible.
Right.
But yeah, like going like putting everything together, like it was like I guess like as the juices started flowing, the creative juices started flowing, like okay, this is gonna be a lot of fucking fun. This is gonna be a lot of fun. And then to be in there with Alex Shelley, which watching him on fucking TNA with Chris Sabin, and then like ACH watching all of his shit. Myron's a fucking boss. And then like I know Zenchi's insane. The man's crazy. And when you see the match, you're gonna be like, yeah, there's gonna be a nice like wow moments. But it was definitely it was a nice coming out party. And then to capture the gold is a huge honor. That's also it's a huge honor. But it's also like it's like a childhood dream. Like you growing up a wrestling fan, you always dream of like being the champion or being a champion.
Right.
And for it to happen this quickly is like, okay, these people they fuck with me. They really like me out here. Now I just got to carry the ball and make something out of it.
That's very, very cool. Not only that, you also tweeted out that you were not a part of the Opera Cup and that you were basically, there's going to be consequences. And then you and King Mo took out Calvin Tankman backstage, excuse me. What's going further? What's going on with that? Is there going to be anything going further with that storyline?
You're going to have to watch and find out. You're going to have to watch and find out. Can't get that up. You're going to have to watch and find out, but there definitely is consequences. But you will see.
One more thing. Who came up with the cards, the suplex number cards? Because I love that. I think that's awesome.
On the independents, when I started doing action in Tyrone, Georgia, there's a company like I think like 5 or 10 minutes away from the building that we actually wrestle in. The company's called LDI Printing and Signs. And they would come to the shows and they would have like signs and stuff for everybody. Like they're like you, those are the kind of fans that you want.
Right.
When I debuted and I started throwing people or whatever, like they would just count, you know, with their hands or whatever, or count out loud. And then one show they printed out like a stack of like packets of like counters, and they gave those to everybody. And then they made the stack of counter cards that I have on MLW. They gave those to me personally. And then I think they had another one. It was like a stand or whatever, and it was like a big counter, an even big. I can see if I can get that from them, but it was an even bigger counter. But it was just like really obnoxious and really fun. And I brought them with me, and I didn't know if Court was going to let me use them or not.
Right.
But he was like, "Yeah, sure. I mean, it is what it is. As long as there's no like legal actions or anything like that with it or whatever." But no, I have full permission to do so. And I didn't know how people were going to take it. I mean, people in the independents love it. I didn't know how people in Philly were going to take it. But like Mo took them and gave him gave it a life of its own. Like. In the match with Bud Heavy, like I remember one of the clips or whatever, when I hit the second one, he was like, two, you know what time it is. Like it was funny. Mo's the fucking best.
I mean, it works. I tell you, it's pretty awesome part of the Suplex Assassin. I want to thank you very much for your time. I want to know what else is in store for Alex Kane in the future and MLW, and how can people find you?
Alex Kane is finally going to Mexico next month with MLW. I think it's a co-promotion show with the Crash, so that's gonna be fun. It's my first time going outside of the country. And then Alex Kane is gonna break into Texas in January, so I'm excited about that. You can find me on Twitter at Alex_Kane11. Instagram is the Suplex Assassin. TikTok is the Suplex Assassin 1. I'm funny. I promise you I'm hilarious. My Pro Wrestling Tee store, just type in Alex Kane. I have cool shirts on there. I'm about to open, I put in my information, open a Brainbuster Tee store. I just got to get stuff uploaded to that. I'm on YouTube. IWTV, start typing Alex Kane. There's like 16 events with me on it. So you have your pick of the litter. But yeah, that's what I got coming up.
All right. I want to thank you very much for your time, and people go check him out. Bye.
Yeah, go check me out.